Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Sunless Skies. So it seems to me the next most important thing for us to do is to acquire official anti-deceased status. And in order to do that, we're either going to need 3 casks of gemstones or a testament of roses. I don't actually know what this is, but it says providing insurmountable proof of your soul's good character, so I wonder if this is maybe something that we can acquire at Carillon. I think what we should do for right now, since we don't seem to be able to buy supplies here, probably not going to have a lot more time to explore, I think what we should do right now is try to find the other location that we have a prospect for. See if we can get to there in any kind of reasonable time. Just get a little bit more filled in on our map, and then when we start running like really out of supplies, and yeah, this place really is not very large. When we start running really out of supplies, we'll consider going back. It may be the case that we just have to go back, because we can't really get into the House of Days, we can't really interact with the people at Wellmouth until we have our status. So yeah, let's go this way. I am being detected by something over there. Well, if it wants to come fight us, we're ready to fight. And honestly, so far this place has not been that bad. To be perfectly honest with you, Eleutheria was more or less what I expected it was going to be. This place has not been. Oh, it's a green Logos. Okay, well I would love to fight you, but I do not want to fight you on top of the well. So yeah, if you could just follow me over here. Maybe he's green. It might be yellow. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, the lighting around here is very weird. I will say that we don't have as much room to maneuver here as I would like. And I do appreciate that although the Logos projectiles explode visibly, they don't seem to do any splash damage. Like, you actually have to get hit dead on with one of them. Oh. Okay. May have taken a small amount of damage from the Wellmouth. Everything's fine. Alright, we are going to end up just having to fight this guy around the well. So it doesn't seem to be just like pouring terror into us. Never mind, it kind of is. I was trying to detonate the old projectile, but apparently it actually did make contact. I'm going to take a little bit of a brush here. Even when they do hit you, it doesn't really do that much damage. Yeah, the repairs are also another factor that's going to be driving us out of here pretty soon. If we can't actually get any port reports due to our lack of status, we're going to have a really hard time doing any repairs. Well, this one is definitely managing to hit me more. I think that shot I fired actually hit him. I think it made that noise it makes. I don't know why I've decided that all of the Logoi are male. That's not a very good shot. Doing our... I think I got him. I think I managed to call the lead correct on that. Oh, that's going to get us hit. Okay, it's not too bad though. Just a little bit. Yeah, honestly, they're very visually impressive. And they shoot a lot of projectiles, and that's scary, but they're not really that dangerous. I'm not anywhere near as worried about combat with one of these guys as I was, like, with the Undeparted. That said, this fight is taking such a long time that we're probably going to, we're going to lose some exploration time here. We have 2 crates of food and a full bar. And unless I can figure out a way to get the crew to eat the petrichor, which apparently is totally safe for us to do, I'm not sure why it doesn't function as food, we are going to have to leave pretty soon. Look, we have some petrichor in our inventory, right? Yeah, we have eaten it. It just must not be nourishing. sustaining, I suppose is maybe the word I want, because I doubt the supplies that we have are nourishing either. Okay, that wasn't too bad, and that's 2 colors of Logos Fire. A wheel of living flame, etc. This Logos was one of the Visitation, who deliver trials upon the dead pilgrims of the Ephemera caste. It is not dead, only diminished. It will rekindle, and we will be elsewhere by the time that occurs. You stand over the corpse of the gilded knight, your blade reflecting moonlight. Okay, see, it was supposed to be sort of a gold color. No. You blink away the visions and send a team of stokers with long-handled lamps to recover a spark of the Logos' living flame. So, gold and red. Do we see... Okay, we cannot... When we click on that, it doesn't say it sells anything. This port sells fuel and petrichor, no real supplies. You know, we've seen a number of... we've seen a number of options in various prompts that were available to us because our crew is mostly composed of the living. I wonder if there's a way to get your engine crewed by the dead, and if that's when the petrichor is actually valuable to you. The Jerrybander. Why would you name your train that? Okay, well, we definitely have to loot this place. Because supplies. Give me supplies. Okay, excellent. You empty the cupboards of tins and jars. Arms full, your boarding party hurries back to the locomotive in time to watch the wreck crack, split, and pour any remaining stores into the sky. Alright, so out here we gotta watch for Eaters of the Dead again. And I think we probably want to take it a little bit easy on the... Oh! Hey there. How are you? I want to take it a little bit easy on the scouting, is what I was going to say. Oh, there's no option to just loot it. Well, then I guess let's lose terror. Darn it. I'm hoping we can use this train as cover for most of the battle. I'm a little worried about having to run from this thing because we might run into eaters. Okay, these guys have a slightly more effective weapon. Oh wow, we actually shot his weapon out of the sky. That was pretty cool. Interesting. Why did he try to do his point-blank attack? I wonder if there's something over there that's closer to him that we can't see? Alright, we took a little bit of a tap there. Ooh, that was a big hit. It is really nice to have all this plating. Okay, easy. So... I am not willing to spend supplies to commune with the Scornfluke. And what I'm thinking here is that probably we will never make use of our commingling of choirs on this character at least, so this probably wouldn't even be worth doing if it was free. So, do we want to substantially reduce our terror? Or do we want to repair the hull? Your heart skill will affect how much hull you will repair. Alright, let's take the terror drop. I don't think we're going to get much hull, and I don't want to gain terror here. The fluke thrashes and ululates, fighting its end desperately, as if more than its own life depended on it. The piece you rip from the eyelid is taller than you are. It will make an awe-inspiring banner. The stoker fusses over where to hang it. Too close to the fires, and it'll become desiccated and frail, but anywhere else, and it'll impede movement. You leave its final placement for the crew. A captain shouldn't get drawn into the niceties. Yeah, you know, let them feel like they've got some control here. Alright. It says that there's something of value down here. Is it maybe another wreck, or is that... Is this piece off of another wreck, or is it from that wreck? The Division of the Heart. Okay, another crate of supplies. Great. Next time we find a place that sells fuel, we can take on a little bit more fuel and stick around. I guess I am a little worried about our fuel situation. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe more than a little worried. Actually kind of pretty here. It's actually kind of really pretty here. Not at all what I was expecting. Okay, well, I think that's our station. I'm curious about these, but I think we'd better get over there and see what they're selling before we make any other decisions. A slumbering piece of the Forge of Souls. We do have some things to do here. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, I've sort of forgotten where we were at in the Clay Conductor storyline, but I know that he wanted us to take him to the Forge of Souls. We never did attempt the clay singing. I can't imagine, like, with it saying your knowledge of the clay choirs is limited here, I have to imagine that you're supposed to get more knowledge somehow. I don't know how we would do it. Maybe we still can. Maybe we haven't gotten access to this yet. Yeah, I guess for now, let's just keep flying. Where are we relative to that? So we're gonna have to go around the... Oh, no, you know what? This is an overpass. A hush hangs over this place. A library beyond all the dreams of Alexandria. The Rat Brigade chitter excitedly. Did they make more rats here? Your crew are alarmed. Sorry, I reckon y'all could make more rats just about anywhere, right? Alright, the new port has banished our terror. We are probably close enough. If we were to take the most direct route, which is still kind of a wraparound, we're probably close enough that we can make it back to Skybarnet from here, so I'm not too worried about our supplies and stuff. Can we turn in our stuff at the bazaar? We sure can. And a grinning miner is selling gems. That's just wonderful. An unnamed individual at the Forge of Souls requires shipments of bottled souls. Well, good news for you. Oh, that was nice of him. The first venturer, masked to disguise himself as one of the Shades of the Dead, meets you at your engine. What does he need the souls for? Nothing yet, he says. But should the forge ever be restored, they'll be most useful. He includes with your payment a sack of blazing gemstones. I found him clogging one of the under furnaces, he says. Oh yeah, sure, I guess I'll take your garbage off your hands, twist my arm. We're definitely buying these as well. Okay, the Venturer's Request. Unfortunately, not a place where you can purchase actual food. But it is a place where we can purchase more gemstones, should we need them. Alright, what's going on here? A colossal, many-towered citadel contains the Lyceum, an ancient library and rumored to hold the fabled Forge of Souls within its depths. Rumored, huh? Somber citadel of many towers broods behind high bronze walls. A cloud of dust hangs over the towers. Occasional slivers of gemstone in the cloud sparkle as they catch the light. This is the Lyceum, a library of legend and guarded fortress of knowledge. It is forbidden to all but a select few. Whoa, 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 what's up with my Blemigan? It has followed you from the engine. Its tendrils probe the ground. What is it doing? Yeah, we've had this dude on board for all of forever, and I sorta kinda forgot he was there. Yeah, what is he doing? The Blemigan flattens itself onto the floor and lies still for several moments. Abruptly, it stands and makes its way over to your feet. It taps a tendril on the ground meaningfully. You have brought it to the correct place, but it requires more. The Forge of Souls needs to be operational. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Let's just wander the courtyard. Hold on. We're not in any big hurry to get anywhere. A few spirits wait hopefully in line for gates that don't open. Officials sometimes pass through on their way to somewhere more important. As you walk down a crowded thoroughfare, you notice the masked spirits shuffling to one side and dropping reverently to their knees. Some are raising unlit candles. Some have retrieved broken hourglasses from their robes. Others are scrawling complex symbols on the floor in chalk. The cause of the commotion appears at first glance to just be another spirit in a porcelain mask, taller than the others, his stride more sure. Luminous energies swirl at his feet. Okay, I am invisible. The larger spirit shouldn't even notice us. Possibly. I'm not 100% sure how that works. The spirit walks past you without a second glance and vanishes around a corner. All around you, spirits clamber to their feet and resume their business. Sometimes it's useful to go unnoticed. That's titled an escape. One does have to wonder. Okay, let's approach the gates. A few lonely spirits mill about in the courtyard, unable to pass. Perhaps you'll fare differently. Something tells me not just yet. The gates are high as tall cedars. Masked faces carved into the bronze gaze down upon the courtyard impassively. Beyond the gates, the towers of the Lyceum rise higher still, forlorn and foreboding. For want of a knocker, you pound your fist against the bronze. A few spirits turn their heads in wonder, but nothing happens. Then, slowly, a thin grate shrieks open in the lower part of the left gate. A skeletal face peers out. You are neither yoked nor ephemera. The Lyceum is not for you. The grate shrieks closed. Okay. How would you reckon we might get... I do not want to be marked yoked, but how might we acquire the ephemera status? We'd have to be officially dead, and we have some paperwork that suggests that we might be. Alright, well, I'm sorry, buddy. I think we're probably out of luck for the moment. A way forward. Towers upon towers, and dust upon dust. The citadel here seems entirely deserted. The clay conductor moans with frustration. Why is nothing in my life easy? Perhaps there is someone beyond the gate who can help. Yeah, I suspect. Alright, well, we didn't learn a whole lot of value here. We probably have to just leave, right? They don't even sell food at Sky Barnet. All of the ports we've been to in here do sell fuel, though. So maybe the move here is we go back to the transit relay. We sail back to New Winchester. It's a pretty short trip. We might, honestly, not have enough food to even make it, though. And then we just stock way up on food, get like a few barrels of fuel, and fill the rest of the hold with food. Because we definitely do not have food enough... Well, what I was about to say is we don't have food enough to go to the stone-faced court and then get back out. But once we acquire our not actually dead status, maybe the Wellmouth will sell food to us? Because they specialize in dealing with the anti-deceased, right? And the anti-deceased have certain needs. Let's not rely on it. Let's go ahead and let's try to make our way back to the relay. So now the question, and I wish I'd investigated this a little bit more thoroughly down here, is whether we can get around this or whether this is going to be solid wall. Let's not risk it. Let's take the path that we know works for now, because we are cutting it a little close. We have quite a distance that we have to travel. Once we are officially anti-deceased, a lot more options will be open to us. We can try to figure out a way forward from there. I am pleased with how this killing the Logoi thing is going, though. We weren't even able to get a port report, so we can't repair our train at Sky Barnet either. Okay, let's try to stick closer to the wall here. We can map this out a little bit. Oh, Cantankerous. Hey, you, come here. Don't run. Really? That didn't work? It's weird. A direct hit kills them. I think our cannery is going to be working overtime here. Yeah, a direct hit with that weapon kills them. We know that from experience. And the direct hit should do 30 damage. But it getting hit by the blast twice did not kill it. I wonder if the blast maybe doesn't do 15 damage solidly all the way throughout. Maybe it's like 15 at the center, and then it fades off at the edges. I mean, that almost has to be the case, right? Because I think we have already killed a Cantankerous here with a direct hit. We know that they don't have more health than they do in other places. That's a bad miss. Actually, he's far enough away we can do this. Trying not to blow that up when it's close enough to me to do damage to us. Wow. He rammed us so hard he killed himself. Unfortunately, we do not have the ability to get meat from a bulkhead tankery. They're too old and hardened. Oh boy, I sure hope this does connect. It looks like it's not going to, actually. Well, I guess we're about to find out if there is, in fact, a way around the bottom. We can stop back through the Lyceum and grab another barrel of fuel if we need to. Oh, I'm waking something up. If it's another Logos, and it totally could be, I don't know that we have time to fight it. This is very inconvenient, actually. Okay. We gotta make it... You can go around. Alright. We're going to try to fight this guy in... I hate this. I hate how close he is. He's doing a much better job of reading our movements than the others were. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we've got open sky. Yeah, we're going to try to fight him in a way that ends up with us being down here near Sky Barnet. They're pretty fast. Oh, that's just like a banner. Just gonna keep trying this. I don't know if that hit him or not. Listen, if we end up not getting to kill him, we end up not getting to kill him. I'm fine with it. This looks important. Makoto Sound. Hey, he's not moving forward quite as fast as I was hoping. We took a little tap there. Okay, yeah, I think we're cool to get around. We gotta go this way though. Alright, we're going to be able to leave. We can buy another barrel of fuel at Sky Barnet. I really would love it if we could kill this thing. Oh no, I overheated the engine trying to detonate a projectile that it detonated on its own. Inconvenient. Alright, let's wait for him to fire again. Alright, so let's go to Sky Barnet. The dock there makes pretty good cover, as we well know. And also, we do need that extra barrel of fuel. Got him. Huh. Can't help but notice that that not only did that shot not home at all, it looked like it actually steered away from him. He's giving off a lot of weird sky matter. I think we're probably pretty close. I hope I'm not endangering us in the long term by sticking around and fighting here. Okay. Oh, I think when it expired naturally due to range, it might have hit him. Let's maybe not take that shot. I think I was going to put us in a position there where we were likely to get hit. Try to predict which way he's going to come in. Please be the final shot. No? I would love it if this was over. I mean, I'm sure this is not the final step of the quest, right? Alright, here we go. This is the one. Shoot him right in the, whatever it is that Logos have. It would be bad for them to be shot in. Okay, hey, we did it. Gotta... Oh, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, Logos Loot. Okay, we need... Are you kidding me? He doesn't have enough meat on him. Damn it. I was very excited about getting to survive a little bit longer. Well, we're cutting it close, that's for sure. Okay, where did that... Did the Logos Loot actually disappear when we wandered like 10 feet away from it? We have definitely seen loot sparkles survive for longer than that. That's annoying. It's not a big deal. They're not particularly hard to fight or anything. But we did earn that. That's very annoying. Well, so we can't repair. Let's just buy a couple barrels of fuel and get the hell out of here then. Yeah, not really anything else to do for right now. You know what? Because there's a bank here, what we could do is we could buy a really huge amount of supplies. We have a ton of money. And then just bank a lot of it. Yeah, that's a much better system. Okay, no new trains available here. Alright, let's get back. I don't know if we have enough supplies. I mean, as soon as we're on the reach side of the relay, there will be opportunities to find more food. And if it turns out that the relay doesn't let us back through, then we're in a whole different bad position. Is it all lit up? It is all lit up. Okay, I think we're probably fine. We didn't bring hours. I should have grabbed hours out of the bank. We can just pay, but it'll be a bad price. The kingdom's only transit relay was built by London's embassy, then yielded to the local authorities. Now its rooms hang with the silks of blue and gold. Pale petals carpet the floors. There is no need to pay for passage. Instead, the inhabitor of the threshold will determine whether you are permitted to leave. It is served by the spirits of jackals, which lounge lazily in the corridors until someone seeks passage. Now they flock silently around you, tongues lolling from their slanting death masks. They part, forming a path to the inner room. The inhabiter wants to see you. I'm concerned about that for sure. Okay, we walk deeper into the relay, passing between the jackals. As you do, they will close behind you, following at your heels down a flight of gloomy stairs. If you have eaten petrichor, you must deal with the inhabiter before you can leave. We did have a meal with the dead. The air smells of oil and hot metal. Faint light issues from glass lenses hung on the walls. Within each lens a soul stirs, wispy, with aloof, glittering eyes. The inhabiter waits amidst the wheels and pistons of the relay's mechanisms. It, or they, sits on a bronzewood stool. At first, the servitor looks like two dark, long-limbed figures sitting back to back, but they are fused together at the spine, the elbows, and the back of the skull. Each of its heads wears a death mask depicting the same serene, vulpine face. One turns toward you, the other, inevitably, turns away. Yeah, that is how that would have to work. Well, this is weird. This is a strange thing. The inhabiter is one or two of the dead, and so forbidden to speak. Instead, it keeps the voice of a departed spirit in a clay jar, which speaks on its behalf. I have been appointed to conduct the rites of departure, the voice jar says in gravelly tones. You have enjoyed the king's hospitality, for this span of the sky is his house, and you have eaten bread from his table. There is an expectant pause. Okay, yes, that's true. Can I leave, please? I claim ignorance regarding the customs of this realm, and for once, I do it honestly. Yes, the inhabitor says solemnly. I understand that elsewhere the laws of hospitality have eroded beyond recognition. A host has 3 obligations to his guest. The first is protection. The westernmost king, with his sword of sunlight, shields us from the lawless miseries of other quarters of the sky. So here again we have the idea that light enforces the natural law. Here you have seen the heavens as they are meant to be. The second is sustenance. Thus he provides petrichor to nourish all who linger here. The third is courtesy, for he has asked you no questions as to your nature or presence. You have been permitted here. In return, the guest has only two responsibilities: to be no burden, and to offer gifts unto their host before departure. Okay, I can do gifts. We have a lot of stuff. Eating petrichor, the food of the dead, binds you to the Blue Kingdom. Before you can leave, you must offer gifts or abandon treasures to lower dining with the dead to 0. I believe we only have 1 point of it. Speaking a word of parting, apparently, will totally work. Yeah, it's a searing enigma. We could offer a testament of salt, which we do have, but because I don't know much about it, I'm reluctant to part with it. Leave your heart in trust, as surety you will return. The spirit has 7 parts, the heart is 1. If you give it up, you will be lessened until you reclaim it. Huh. Okay, well, I'm totally comfortable giving up a vision of the heavens, and I believe we only have 1 point of dining with the dead, so I think this will cancel us out entirely. Yeah. So be it, the inhabitor says. Wash the glory of his kingdom from your eyes with salt water and ash. A bowl will be brought. Indeed, a bowl is brought in the clamped jaws of a jackal spirit. The ritual stings, yeah, I would imagine, but soon the dazzle is scrubbed from your sight. Your debt is paid, the inhabitor's voice jar intones. If you wish, you may return to your chariot, and the way will open. Okay, it's not that hard to get out of here, then. That's not too bad. Let us return to the relay. No sooner have you spoken the question than the relay's mechanisms grind into motion. Jagged sigils flare with light. You hurry back to your locomotive as the relay engages. The steel arms swing loudly into position. The casing closes overhead. Jets of steam scour your hull. You hear the rumble of the correspondence stones rotating into sequence, and your engine is flung along tunnels that were burrowed through the sky in distant eons. The journey is disturbed. As you traverse the relay passage, some celestial beast thunders amidst the roots of the sky. Its lamentable bellows shake the heavens. Yeah, we know all about the burrower. 1 crate of supplies, 1 basically full bar of supplies to get back home. I think we can make it. I don't know for sure that we'll make it all the way there before the supplies run out, but I think hopefully we can keep things together enough to make the rest of the trip once we have run out of food. And who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll encounter a skystead, like, out near the mouth of the path to the transit relay. There's probably not going to be a lot of random stuff going on inside the path, because it's very narrow, but... And who knows, maybe when we run out of supplies, the crew will eat the petrichor? I'm sure doing so will give us more dining with the dead, but that's not a big deal. We could totally survive that. We have a lot of searing enigmas that we could use even if our dining with the dead gets super high. I gotta say, they've thrown me for a loop a little bit with the nature of the Blue Kingdom. Alright, so we're gonna go back to New Winchester. We're going to... I believe our bank storage is infinite. I mean, obviously it's not infinite because data structures are not infinite, but effectively infinite. So we're just going to buy like a lot of supplies and jam them into the bank. And that way we don't have to fly around with a completely full hold all the time, but we can still have a good way of gathering supplies quickly. Because it's not that hard to get back to Skybarnet. Not really that large. Alright, so the play is we bring gemstones back to the... what is it called? The House of Stones? You know, the place by the White Well. That's what we do when we get back. And yeah, it's less than a single crate of supplies to travel from the relay to New Winchester. Ooh, okay. I was getting a tiny bit worried. Taste of smog, the sound of iron on iron. We are home, sort of. Kind of home. Okay, we don't really have anything that we want to do here aside from... I mean, fuel is pretty widely available. I don't even really need this much. I'm definitely over-purchasing. Okay, what do we want? Let's put this back. We don't need these. So we'll have access to... Yeah, we don't need to hold anything, really. Because we have access to the bank immediately after passing through the relay. Alright, so I guess we'll carry a good amount of supplies on us. Probably a little bit more than that. Well, yeah, we'll go pretty deep. This way we can use our scout. And then we're going to purchase directly into our bank. Am I allowed to just type a number here? Can I go... Oops. Apparently that is not... Backspace does not work the way I would like while you're in that menu. Can I do 3 digits? Am I allowed to, like... into the bank, though. 4,000 sovereigns. A fair price. Okay. Now we have some time to explore. Do we want to dump some more stuff? Just to have more walking around money? You know what? We can do that on the other side. Let's just get back over there. I'm very interested in the fact that the Blemigan all of a sudden is actually part of the story. It's like, we've picked up that cat. But the cat is only worth a single stat point. The Blemigan is objectively a vastly superior mascot. In so many different ways. I had just sort of, like, forgotten about the whole mascot slot, because we've never had to interact with it. So once we are officially antideceased, the Logos will be less likely to challenge us. Then we'll go and investigate the Wellmouth a little bit more. We'll go back to the Court of Apes, the House of Apes. I can't remember the name of anything in there just yet. I mean, you remember. Once upon a time, I couldn't remember what Port Avon was called. We'll see it a couple of times. It'll eventually drill itself into my brain. But I have no idea how we might gain access to the inner parts of where the Forge of Souls is held. Maybe we don't have to become ephemera. Maybe we can just find somebody who is ephemera and bring them with us. Have them sort of swipe us in. Oh, I didn't remember to bring any hours. I was going to put hours in the hold. Oh well. I'm sure we can just pay with sovereigns. Oh no, that's right. Otherworldly artifacts. Yeah, absolutely. First class travel. Nobody look out the windows while we're doing this thing anymore. In fact, maybe we should just black the windows out entirely. What do you think? I guess we probably have to be able to see in order to steer and navigate. Wow, that was fast. I mean, I guess the Blue Kingdom's not very large. Okay, let's go ahead and make some decisions here on the other side of the relay. I don't know exactly how much fuel and supplies we want to carry with us, or exactly how many sovereigns we want to have on hand. We have been surprised once or twice by, like, a request for 2,000. And here, this being the last place in the game you are likely to go, if there were going to be financial things, they would be pretty extreme, right? Caged catches for the Forge of Souls. I could do that. We have a lot of caged catches. And gemstones for Death's Door. North from the transit relay on the far side of the Blue Kingdom. I'm not going to take this one on because we're, like, definitely not going to do it. I guess it doesn't hurt to have it. But we don't have enough, gemstones for stuff like that. We're bringing the 3 casks of gemstones that we need. And then 5, was it? 5 caged catches. And then probably, like, 10 fuel and 13 supplies. Seems like that's a little That's a little unbalanced, but it's so much easier to buy fuel. And in fact, maybe I bank some of this fuel, because we can buy fuel at every port. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bank some fuel. We'll take, like, 5 barrels. That should give us plenty of time, even if we end up fighting a lot or something. And we just fill the hole the rest of the way with supplies, that we don't have to come back soon. Okay. Our fuel efficiency is going to be a tiny bit murdered by how heavy the train is, but fuel is not an issue. As long as money is not an issue, fuel is not an issue. And the ports around here are so friendly. So once we have our official status, I think we'll be able to collect port reports, which means we'll be able to repair our train on this side of the relay. So things will get a lot easier for us. As long as I can continue to not actually die in a single combat, which, at this point, our train is so powerful, it's like borderline guaranteed. And I think it's probably not worth it for us to fight Eaters of the Dead, like the one that slid past us a moment ago, unless they're actually in the way. Because their loot doesn't seem to be very good. I guess they present a way of lowering terror. I do kind of wonder, and I almost want to test it, whether you can compel your crew to eat the petrichor and whether it will work. Because we could just take all of the supplies out of the hold, just have one thing of petrichor. Although the supply bar totally emptying, I'm not sure we've actually seen that happen, have we? Maybe at the very beginning. I don't remember what the consequences are. I assume you would not lose instantly, because worst case scenario, there's an awful lot of living things on the train. There are hungers in the Blue Kingdom, tolerated because they consume excess souls. Yes, I've met a few of those. Oh, also these guys. Well, that was a bad shot. I thought when he started pulsing like that, he was about to fire. I was like, waiting for him to take his shot. Okay, we got some decent damage off there. I think he was just leading us very aggressively. Yeah, it seems like they do try to lead you. He's firing ahead of us in whatever direction I'm facing. Ooh, not that one, though. That's interesting that there's text covered up. Ah, because this building here is not a random spawn thing. Ancient structure has become home to an enclave of dead spirits. Well, I would love to have a chat with them. We do also have to make sure that we survive. Okay, there we go. I suppose we just take a trophy. Yeah, now that we have a strategy worked out for our supplies, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard to survive in here. We can repair our stuff. There's lots and lots of access to fuel. There are a lot of ways to get rid of terror. Here is an enclave of the Forsaken Dead, some human, some the spirits of animals, who have fallen between the cracks of the kingdom's labyrinthine bureaucracy. Their masks are smeared with dust. Their limbs are thin as sticks. Their eyes avid. They are hungry. Petrichor, the food of the dead, will not suffice now, nor bread and biscuits. They need something hotter. Ha. If you have dined with the dead, you can let them drink the ichor from your blood. Let's share a vision of the heavens with them. Give them hope. The shades sit at your feet. You are surrounded by an arc of porcelain death masks, all tipped avidly towards you. When you have finished, they rise with new purpose and turn towards death's door. They are determined to try again. Well, hopefully we did a good thing for them there. I didn't actually need the terror reduction, I don't think. Alright, so let's... Where are we going? I'm getting all distracted here by fighting. Well, we have enough room in the hold to take on whatever we find. in these ruins. These remnants, these leavings. Okay, crate of supplies. Totally welcome. Yeah, let's strip her for repairs, because I'm not wild about our chances on looting her here. Okay, back to full. So we'll take on some terror around the well mouth, but really it all just seems very survivable. Even fighting the Logoi isn't really that scary. I wonder if it's just that, like, we're over-prepared, or maybe I've been thinking about the arrangement of the areas too linearly. Maybe it's like, once you've figured out your stuff in Albion, you're supposed to regard the Blue Kingdom and Eleutheria as being roughly equally weird to go to, and so it's not that the Blue Kingdom is supposed to be tougher than Eleutheria. It's just that we are tough enough for it already. I don't know. It like, the fact that it's not stranger and scarier and harder is a little bit unsettling in a weird way, because it's got me thinking, like, it's got me wondering if I'm missing something, or... So I guess in that way it's totally working. Alright, let us seek entry to the stone-faced court. Good news, we brought a tithe. As a guest, you can skip the queue, if you brought a gift. Proper formalities must be observed. The administrator steps from her booth, bows deeply, and tells you that she can't possibly accept such a gift. It is your prerogative, of course, to insist that she does. Oh no, she says, she couldn't possibly. The back and forth is relentless. Finally, defeated, she recites the Blue Kingdom's 13th customary gratitude rite, then begins eagerly examining the gems for flaws. Your entry permission lasts 1 month only, she says, stamping a certificate and handing it to you. Okay, a month. Hopefully that's enough time to do what we need to do. As you step inside the court, you are immediately accosted by another skull-headed gentleman, though his ivory is noticeably more worse for the wear than the administrator's. Yellowing, cracked, pitted with craters. The curious official glances irritably at its clipboard. An invisible, perfect, wonderful. An administrative nightmare was exactly what I needed at this juncture, in fact. He looks you over. Ugh. Well, follow me, I suppose. I am your guide, welcome to the court, etc. Spirits are obliged to pretend that they can't see you, which could make for some excellent pranks, if that were permitted, which it is not. Your footsteps ring out as you walk through the labyrinthine corridors of the stone-faced court. The bleak stone catches the echo and magnifies it 100-fold. Delightful, aren't they? Mutters the official as you walk past a row of misshapen gargoyles. The court is vast and cold and almost entirely empty, unless you count the statues. Everywhere you look, there are statues, in varying states of decay. That is an intense look. That's actually really cool. Trials take place in a grand chamber at the court's heart, dominated by a colossal basalt statue of a sphinx. I didn't play a lot of Sunless Skies, but I did encounter, I think they were basalt, I did encounter a place where there were a couple statues of sphinxes, like, almost nose to nose. I wonder if this is supposed to be one of those. Or maybe it just came from the same place they came from. Judges are distinguished not just by their horned crowns, but by the hoard of gemstones embedded in their skulls. As you enter, the jeweled judge is deliberating atop her throne. A masked spirit stands in the docks before her, placidly awaiting its fate. Dead, mutters the official behind you. Dead, dead, dead. She's going to say dead. Look, it's obviously dead, nothing to see here. Just dead. Hurry up, dead. Dead, pronounces the judge, finally. Okay, let's write a port report real quick here, while we're here. What is there to say about the city outside? The dead wait, the snow falls, the days pass. The court is where things happen. You sit down with one of the skull-headed Graven and ask her what she's heard about recent developments at the court. 2 hours and 3 of your notebooks later, she's still talking about the recent doomed efforts at bureaucratic reform, which have inevitably made everything more complicated. Several put-upon mid-level administrators have cracked under the strain, regrown their faces, and fled the White Well to try to enjoy life. She whispers the latter with a note of genuine bafflement. That's a thing they can do? They can just regrow their faces? Huh. Okay, well, I could see why somebody would want to hear that story. Alright, let's ask the judge about the industrialist's lost love. I know we have lots of other things to do here, but... You give her all the details the industrialist told you. Not too many details, unfortunately. It pained him to relay them. The judge peers at you. I have 72 more spirits to process before the end of the hour if I can hope to meet today's quota, she says. You really think I have time to pore over the records of all the spirits who passed through here and were declared dead? Ah, crap. I wish we had brought... an indulgence. Wish we had brought more gemstones. Shoot, I should have brought more gemstones. I was worried about jamming the hold full of supplies. Okay, there's no way we're gonna persuade her of the task's importance, but probably failing this won't actually hurt, so we may as well take the swing. 22%'s not that low, really. Okay, no big deal. Probably. I can't help you, she says. I'm sorry. That's the end of it. Okay, we'll come back with a bribe. Sorry, a tithe. Let's all be honest. We know it's a bribe. Let's watch the trials of the dead. Surely an interesting case will come along any moment now, and I think it probably will do us some good to understand the bureaucratic rituals here a little bit. For every trial, the routine is the same. The judge will bow deeply to the Sphinx statue behind her throne and beseech the Watcher to lend her wisdom. Uh-oh. We are not well liked by the Watcher. A spirit will be brought forth and measured and prodded and weighed. The judge will declare it dead. Eventually, a spirit is ushered forth, whose case has unique complications. The spirit under trial is an ephemera who has been bounced around the Blue Kingdom for decades. Its case file is a stack of stone tablets that the jeweled judge reads through with evident horror. The spirit just wants to be declared dead, but its papers have been repeatedly misfiled. Its soul raises all sorts of false alarms among the spirit measurers, and its corpse was exhumed and used in unsettling experiments. All this has apparently greatly complicated its post-mortem status. I'm sorry, but the Watcher has told me I must declare you ephemera for the 11th time, says the judge apologetically. Please ensure these issues are sorted before you return for another trial. The spirit's shoulders slump in defeat. Okay, we could step up and maybe make an argument ourselves? You barely know the laws here, and you've only got a few minutes to scan 6,000 lines of cuneiform engravings. What could go wrong? Yeah, I mean, what's the worst thing we're going to do? Just make this thing's case even worse? It seems like that might not be possible. You stand before the court and go through the ephemera's paperwork line by line, pointing out corrections, amendments, and addenda. It takes 2 full days, but by the end it is clear that the ephemera has already done everything asked of it by the bureaucracy. The judge sighs. Fine. Congratulations, I declare you dead. The spirit whoops with joy. As he leaves the courtroom to meet his fate, he pauses to whisper in your ear the name of the woman who killed him. Word quickly spreads around the court that you're some kind of prodigy. You are immediately inundated with gifts from other spirits anxious for you to help them navigate the bureaucracy's twists and treacheries. Okay, the little bit of time that we spent on Brabazon is kind of paying off, huh? Okay. So we could buy our crew a few rounds at the tavern now that we have some souls, but we don't really need to reduce terror. Submit your own soul for judgment. The judge is unfathomably busy, but there are a few spots left unadorned on her sparkling skull. The judge will measure the quality of your soul, the power of your ideas, the texture of your terror. If you are judged worthy, you will receive a testament of roses. Okay, so that's how we get those. But of course, gemstones. Always gemstones. Well, we know where we can get some. You are currently invisible, but would prefer to be seen. If successful, this will change you to antedeceased, confirming to the Blue Kingdom that you are, lamentably, alive. There are some downsides to this, but I think it's important. The official sighs and pinches the spot where the bridge of his nose used to be. Always me, isn't it? Well, I suppose it will cause less trouble for us both in the long run. Before I can declare you antedeceased, I must be satisfied you're committed to being dead one day, says the official. No dabbling in immortality, no living life to the fullest. You're just a shell of meat and juice patiently awaiting its end. The traditional way to do this is to stage yourself a premature funeral, a public demonstration of mortality. Then there's just some paperwork, and you're officially living for death. I am concerned about this. Okay, wow, we can spend a lot of stuff making our preparations here. Yeah, alright, we're going to stage a funeral. Hopefully I'm not making any kind of... My real concern here is that it will be felt that we are entering into a contract, because we absolutely don't intend to die, right? Probably... Okay, probably it's fine. Probably it's fine. This will begin your funeral, so we want to make the preparations first, right? We treat ourselves to a real ostentatious one. You know what? If I do end up dying, that's how I want it. And we certainly can afford to spend some sky stories and sovereigns. Let's get ourselves a particularly heartfelt eulogy. Unusual for a eulogy to be delivered by its own subject, perhaps, but at least you can throw in some good anecdotes. There's one thing Sister Patel is good at, it's telling a story. You sit down and compose what turns out to be a particularly stirring eulogy if you say so yourself. Shame you won't be around to do this for the real thing. You know, I'm not too concerned about it, really. Alright, and let's spend lavishly on flowers and fireworks. If we're going out big. The official counts your coins carefully, then flings them from the nearest window. He catches your expression. Your money is useless here, he says defensively. The important thing is that it matters to you. Now that I know you've spent what seems like a vaguely appropriate amount, I can organize some suitable decorations on your behalf. Pardon me. A little bit of a strange wheeze going on. Okay. Now, this is the death. The procession marches through Erd. Fireworks crackle overhead, wreaths of flowers line the streets. The sheer spectacle is enough to attract a larger audience than expected. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. You sit up in your coffin, waving to your adoring mourners. Finally, you arrive at your grave. The curious official delivers last rites in a bored monotone. As you are lowered, waving, into the ground, you don't lie down until the first shovelful of soil hits you in the face. After a few anxious, subterranean minutes, the curious official digs you up and hands you a bundle of documents to sign. Very moving, I thought, he says, wiping an imaginary tear from his eye socket. You'll make a fine corpse someday. Yeah, let's hope not. Okay, officially antedeceased, which gives us options, right? Let's return to the city outside and take a moment to mingle in the crowds approaching the staircase. At the side of the street, trying to stop spirits as they passed, is someone not yet dead, an antedeceased. He wears a mask, but it is pushed up to his forehead, nose in the air. He is pushing a cart marked Curios of the Blue Kingdom, made of wood and painted with a design of lotus blossoms. He catches your eye. Do you have any artworks or masterpieces of the kingdom I could buy? I do not. So we could exchange a testament for Nevertine gemstones. There's a lot of ways to get them. Let's construct something from a few odds and ends. The dealer doesn't look especially canny, and we totally are. Nope, not that canny. 10 seconds of belief, and then he gets a good look and curses your lying kind, both now and at the hour of your death. May you be turned back at death's door after 100,000 years of waiting, he says. May all your documents go unstamped. May you never be able to complete the last ritual of application. May you be assigned a voice that squeaks, and may the other spirits laugh at you, and may you get lost in the House of Days. Probably none of it will stick, but you get away as fast as you can. It would have been nice to have had another cask of gemstones just appear in our hands, right? Alright, I think we're done here. Let's go ahead and visit... I'll buy some fuel. May as well fill up. Let's go ahead and visit the Wellmouth. We are officially antedeceased, which means some of the Logos will leave us alone. The Logoi, rather. But I don't remember which one, or which ones, I don't know. I have no idea what the rules of this bureaucracy are. We'll just trust that the Logoi are invested in enforcing them fairly. Okay, now that we are antedeceased, let's have a big chat with a spider. Big chat with a big spider. The Church of the Judas Psalm. Oh yeah, we did give them time to complete their thing, didn't they? Or didn't we? The church stands dark and forbidding at the edge of the well. Their wooden church stands completed at the well's edge, dark and ramshackle and icicle-hemmed. The twice-scorned priest stands at his altar, delivering something half curse, half sermon. "The widows have promised to kill us if we don't leave," he roars, his knife-gnarled fist raised. "May their victuals turn to scorpions in their mouths. May their limbs atrophy, their minds unravel, their souls be damned." Once the sermon is over, he draws you aside. The psalmists are running perilously low on food, and they need your help. Wow. Refusing to help will condemn the psalmists to death. Maybe you guys should just leave? This doesn't seem like your kind of place. "No, we have moved enough. This is where we must thrive or die." The twice-scorned priest bows his head. "And if we die, so be it." Well, I mean, I guess this is the place for it, right? Can you not just trade with the stone-faced court? The graven have food to spare, apparently. The twice-scorned priest spits on the floor. "The graven fear offending the widows too much to trade with us or give us work. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that my own self is the thing. If we offer to bring them supplies, we don't necessarily have to actually do it, right? I can't just let them starve, can I?" The priest nods, chewing his lip until blood trickles down his chin. "Thank you," he finally says, through gritted teeth. He takes you down to the half-dug cellars and shows you their existing supplies. A few sacks of grain, some hanging strips of salted pork, a crate of teeth-cracking biscuits. This wouldn't be enough for a congregation half its size. They'll need more. Like, a lot more. Well, we totally could just leave them 10 of our supplies. Alright, let's start speaking to the... Let's figure out what's going on here. I want to have some idea of what the political situation will be if we give the psalmists our food, because I don't really want all their deaths on my head. Let's seek out the matronly relic's approval, now that we are properly antedeceased. Yep, the relic is an old woman of colossal stature. We've seen this. Certain actions in Wellmouth are available only to characters with the antedeceased status. Yeah, like me. Apparently I have to bring a selection of immaculate souls if I would like to linger here. Tithe of souls must first be paid. I probably knew that. Well, we're not far from the bank. Imagine speaking to the widows is not going to... Yeah, not going to offer us anything new. Well, we watched them inter another one of the failed dead. It's just, it's good to keep it fresh in our mind what's going to happen if we don't manage to pull this whole thing off just right. And we don't yet have access to the shops, if there are shops indeed. Okay, Immaculate Souls. Fair enough. So, I'm not going to give them the food just yet. They'll be okay for a little while. Let's go get the stuff we need to bribe the widows, come back, figure out what the situation is here, whether or not we will be, hunted relentlessly for feeding the psalmists, and if we are going to, then if there are going to be serious enough consequences for us, we might just not give them the food. I don't know. I'm not going to try to make a decision yet about what we might or might not do. So, the House of Days, then. We have important business to conduct at the House of Days. The Court of Apes within the House of Days, I'm pretty sure. And since we're kind of in position to do so, we may as well explore a little bit. Let's swing around here. It looks like, actually, we can see... Okay, maybe swing around like this. Okay, just everyday normal scribe spinster. We may as well blow him up just so that we don't have to worry about him chasing us. Oh, solid dodge. I did click, by the way. It just didn't fire. I guess the overheat had not quite worn off. Oh, don't you get close to me. I appreciate him stopping. He was sliding sideways for a minute there. But then he paused so that my projectile could hit him. At least he's a good sport. Okay, I think one good hit ought to finish the job. Maybe not. That is never not going to be funny to me. Okay, so we could try to put together some scraps of ancient knowledge to trade for a searing enigma. We really don't need bronze wood. And we really don't need either of these things. That only took us up to 6. We need 7 for the trade, so we're gonna have to kill 2 more if we want another searing enigma. That said, I'm sure we'll be given plenty of opportunity. And we may as well use our scout a bit. We have lots and lots of supplies to play with now. Okay. The skies are wide, my captain, but I will always return to you. Well, that's kind of sweet. I'm just going to assume that the Ratronaut is not, like, into me. It seems to be happening a lot lately. But let's not get a big head about it. Rats are very discerning. Distant radiance washes over your engine. Shafts of light flung from Death's Gate. He has nothing to report, really. That's a surprise. Mostly what I'm curious about is whether there's a break around this side. I don't know if this information is ever going to be useful to us, but while we have the ability to map, we ought to map, I think. But we are right up against the edge of the world. Oh, interesting. Is there actually a hard rim all the way around it? Oh, no, not all the way around it, clearly. Okay. Headed in that direction. Its account is comprehensive, its similes poetic. Yes, out here is where we saw the Logos and the Spirifers. I don't know if the Logos was fighting them. We're cool. I'm allowed to be here. Alright. We don't need to fight a red one anyway. I wonder if our status can be stripped for attacking Logoi. The temperature has plummeted and continues to fall by the hour. Pipes lock with ice. The crew wrap themselves in coats and blankets. It will not be enough. Some mutter that you have angered the Waste Waif, who speaks in frost and bitterness. The waif is a lonely power. Perhaps its displeasure would ease if you gave it some company. I'm not... Oof. No, absolutely not. We could try to placate the Waste Waif and lose its wrath by offering it some crew. Don't really like that. You know what? Shovel more fuel. The boiler will drive the cold away. Stokers work extra shifts. The fires rise, the boiler hums, the pipes are scalding to the touch, the corridors warm as toast. Slowly, your locomotive shrugs off its coat of pale frost. We're close enough to Skybarn it. I'm not too worried. Yeah, let's go down here and figure out what this was. I got spooked by the Logos, but I don't really need to be. We'll make it back to Skybarn it with plenty of time. An old locked vault lies near. One of your otherworldly artifacts begins to hum as you approach. Ooh, that seems like a bad idea. You do not want to be caught angering the Logos. He has other concerns, though. I almost want to go back there and fight him. I'm a little bit afraid of accidentally provoking the Logos. Okay, we'll fight this one. Well, I did just dodge directly into that projectile. Fortunately, it really didn't do much damage. I'm not sure that it did damage at all. They have the same weapon we have. seems like. Not quite as good at avoiding it as we are, though. Alright, let's see what the marauders here have for loot. Anything interesting? A resurrectionist deceased. The resurrectionists haunt Memoriam, plundering its graves for corpse goods and cadavers. They sell the valuables to pawn shops, and the bodies to disgraced scholars, deranged artists, and grisly collectors. Well, seems like it would be wise to just repair the hull, right? I guess we have a port report. We don't have to stress about that too much. What have they stolen from the sleeping dead? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay, full of thirsty bombazines. So these guys are not unique. We have seen their deal before. What is happening over here? Did this look like this last time we were through here? Okay, it's getting very bright. That's the something that glisters. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, can we get closer and interact? Nope, just a wild natural phenomenon. It made a dinging noise, but it didn't indicate... Oh. A vision of the heavens. Your locomotive is flooded with radiant thought, glorious and blazing. For a moment, you know the fiery, unassailable pride of a sun. So we lost Terra there, too. That's interesting. Can't actually see him. This would be a little bit easier if I could. I don't know that I necessarily need to be fighting this guy. Not really a ton to be gained, I see the opportunity to fight, and I fight. I'm a simple creature. With a brain addled by too many video games. I always like to think of games in terms of, like, the verbs that they offer you, because that's really what is interesting to me about the theme of the game. It's not really that different, from my perspective, for you to be, like, a Viking guy who kills enemies in battle, or a medieval guy who kills enemies in battle, or even, you know, a stoker on a Skytrain who kills enemies in battle. This game offers a lot of cool and interesting... We should probably go to the House of Days, then go to Skybarn, because we're running low. This game offers us a lot of interesting verbs, a lot of cool stuff to play around with. But apparently I am sometimes still drawn to those verbs of comfort, with which we have spent so very much time over the years. Okay, the House of Days, and this is probably where we'll wrap the episode. Okay, we do not need to go to the antechamber, we need to go to the porch, and attempt the doorway. You have the status to enter, but you have not been to the House of Days before, and there are rituals to perform. You must be clean in purpose and in body, and to this end you are washed with vinegar and scrubbed with salt. Then you are given 3 poems in honor of the Sapphired King, which you must read aloud, in chorus with the others entering the house just now. Not as bad as my litigator made me think, remarks a cheerful shade beside you, but that is before the ceremony of inhalation. You are tested with the odor of the rotting dead, and you only just escape being most improperly ill. After all this, the attendants direct you toward the Court of Apes. This is where you belong. A man in military trousers reads a newspaper. A masked gorilla holds a sheaf of documents written on banana leaf. On the wall is a sign that says, "Everything in its place." When you read it a second time, it says, "The queue forms to the right." This is where you belong. Okay. Let us lurk here for a moment. This court attends to apes and monkeys, to humans, and to certain orders that appear similar to humans. It issues testaments of the feather, when the attendants think another court should listen to someone's rightful claim. And they say that lightless souls can be cured here, though at a significant price. As you watch, a yoked shade carries in a basket of figs. Interesting. So we could undergo the removal of our lightless soul flaw, at the permanent cost of 1 point of mirrors. That's not really that big of a deal, right? Why are we lightless? Hold on, let's have a quick look at our soul. There's a category here for things that are true about my soul, isn't there? No, wait, maybe it's on... Yeah, it's on my status screen. Your soul is stained, curdled, clear, cold, lightless, and fermented. We could probably go back to Carillon and have some of this stuff interacted with. Do I need to cure my lightlessness? Like, do I actually care? Does it matter? Achieving a testament of the feather is a matter of convincing the attendants of this court that your case deserves to be heard by another. A testament of the feather can be used to gain access to various officials elsewhere in the Blue Kingdom. Seems like it'd be a useful thing to have. And we're pretty likely to get one. Yeah, let's try it. You tell a story that moves the attendant to tears. You invoke the influence of your benefactor. You embellish certain points and gloss over others. It is enough. I have a friend in another court. You will only need to bring a message from me, says the attendant, proud of his generosity. All the trouble of your case will land on someone else. The attendant inscribes the testament of the feather in clay and bakes it with the glare of his will. When you pick it up, it feels like a brick that has been left in the sun. Okay, yeah, that seems like a thing we'll probably get some use out of. Alright, let's start dealing with this rental dispute. Take a number, wait on a cushion until the number is called. It's like the DMV of the sky. You are number 2047. You sit. You lose feeling in your legs. Sometimes you see another ape rise from its place. It shakes hands with the ape to its left and the ape to its right, a grave courtesy from gorilla to chimp, from chimp to woman, from woman to gibbon. At last, ape 2047 may approach the window. But no sooner do you get there than the attendant clicks angrily. No boons, favors, requests, or solicitations are honored from persons with a clear soul, it snaps, as though you ought to know this already. Go to the Mayflies first. A visit to the Court of the Mayflies will allow you to lift your clear soul flaw. Again, I wonder if it might be better for us to go to Carillon. I can't remember if they can remove flaws like this. Might be a thing worth investigating. Might be a thing I investigate off camera. Yeah, I think maybe that's what we'll do. So, I guess we're done here for now. I think this is where we're going to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We've come to the end of our week, so I hate to leave you in suspense, but the next episode won't be until Monday. So come back then to see if I've figured out what to, finally, after all this time, what to do with my soul. And we'll see you then.